Hey man, how are you doing? Hopefully you're having a nice day. If you're not, well, you can always just make it nice yourself, but that just comes to your individual choices and everything that you'd want, right? So, yeah, hopefully this video will help make that day a bit better for you, and I hope this is going to be some useful ideas, maybe some advice that you can implement. I don't know if you know this, but um, a few weeks ago I started playing video games again, and I just play on the weekends, right, for like maximum 2 hours per day. So that would be like Sunday and Saturday. I play for like 2 hours if I've finished all the tasks of the day that I had to finish, right? So if I did some housework, if I finished my homework, if I exercised, if I already spent some time with my family, like I'll take some time afterwards to just play. And it's been nice. I've really enjoyed it. It's not the same feeling for sure that I used to have when I was younger when I was playing. But it's a nice feeling. It's you can take this two ways, right? Like there was a certain point where I was playing like a lot and it no longer was even enjoyable to play. It was just shitty. And I didn't enjoy it, but I was addicted. I didn't have anything else in my life, so I'll have to do it. I'll have to keep playing. I felt obligated to do so. And there was also a point in my life, when I first started playing video games, more or less, everything felt so magical, right? So that was the excitement that I felt. Right now, you know, I don't feel the same amount of excitement, but at the same time, it's not like I don't feel shitty anymore. It's like I actually just enjoy the game more or less. And if I don't enjoy it, I can just say, you know what, that's fine. I'll do something else. If I don't enjoy it, I'll do something else. But I can still notice certain things, and this is what I want to talk to you about. I can still notice certain things in my behavior, in my mind process, in the thoughts that I continue to have, which gave me something to think about. I still sometimes feel after I finished playing or before I played the game, like 1 or 2 days before, or afterwards, I still have this anticipation uh, thought process, right? So I think about, all right, when I'm gonna get on, I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and like you just make up plans in your head. And you're like, oh my god, I cannot wait to just go on this certain game and play on this map and do this or do that, and you just make like all kinds of different ideas up in your mind, right? And you make certain plans. Be careful about that. Be very careful about that, because what this implies is it implies that there's like I'm doing certain things on video games which are like more or less attractive to my brain. Things that are more or less making my brain think about them, right? Because I don't think the same way about fucking homework. I don't feel the same way about I don't know whatever kind of exercise. I don't like I don't think about it 2 days ahead or afterwards. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. No, I don't. But with video games, with certain things, I do that. And so, what you need to be very careful, and what you might already know, if not, I'll tell you, is video games, they give you this false sense of purpose, this false sense of progress, really. That you're playing this game and you're doing this, and you're grinding and you're getting this vehicle. You're getting this vehicle and you can play with it, and you're like anticipating the moment when you're gonna get it. It's so fun. You're on another game, you're like trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world, and you're getting loot and you're doing this and doing that. And like, you're anticipating and you're making progress towards something. From being naked on a beach, there you are, like fully geared up or something. These things, they can be very, very dangerous to your brain. If you chose to go down this path like I have, you're like, I'll still play video games from time to time. but I won't play them obsessively. Well, you have to be careful to not let that to not degenerate into an addiction again, especially if you were an addict in the past like I was. You need to be very aware of the fact that when you're playing video games, you are in a fake world, in a fake reality, in something that does not exist, something that you cannot grasp in your hands. All right? So you need to be careful to not let that get to your head, like that false sense of progress, to not let it get to your head up to the point where it's the only thing that you think about. It's the only thing that like brings you any sense of purpose or meaning or happiness or peace. Be very careful because you can end up there, and once you get there, it's like nothing in your life makes sense anymore. Like it's all just weird, it's all just shitty. Because real life progress is a lot more difficult to achieve. It's spanned out over a long period of time most of the time, compared to video games in general. When you can grind out a vehicle on War Thunder in like a few hours, when you can I don't know, build a whole life for yourself on a post-apocalyptic world in a few hours. And yet in real life it takes months and months to lose a few kilograms of fat or to put on a few kilograms of muscle. It takes months, maybe years. It took me 3 years to get to the point where I was like really skinny to like being decently decent. Like I'm not like jacked or anything. I'm just like decent. Like I used to have like a very skinny hand, right? But now it's a bit better, but it's not great. And it's been 3 years of like obsessively exercising and doing this and doing that, and eating a lot. And like progress in real life takes a lot of time. The way that I changed my mind, the way that I changed my life in general, it's been 3 years and there's so much more to do. And like I can notice certain things, but if I don't like really sit and think about them, and I don't like really reflect on what my life has been like, those things they just slip right by. And you probably have like a lot of instances where that happens in your life as well, where real life progress is a lot harder to achieve than virtual video game progress. So you have to be really careful to not fall back in that pit of fake virtual progress where you're living in this weird reality that's like altered from the real life, and you don't have anything that you can actually grasp in your hand. Once you get off the game, you're in real life, and here you are with your body, with your health, with the relationships with the people around you. Be very careful to not fall in that pit again if you were addicted, if not for the first time. Be very, very careful. Try to do things in real life that bring you a sense of purpose and meaning, and try to do things, try to like don't make your life revolve around video games. Like make video games like a revolving part of your life, something that just kind of orbits around you from time to time, something that you indulge in very little, up to the point where it just feels nice for a little while, and you don't have to like fucking push through it and just be obsessed over it. I don't know how to like really properly explain this, but just make this an activity that you can enjoy from time to time, but that does not control you. That does not control your thoughts, your way of life, your relationships with other people. Because chances are that it happened before. You had this before. They really did control you. Video games really did control you, and you managed to get out of it. And now, you think to yourself, well, I feel a lot better. I feel like I've changed a lot of things about myself. I'm more mature. I'm more thoughtful. I'm more meaningful. I think I could handle, doing this and just like enjoying a nice session of like 2 hours or 4 hours per week, right? Okay, that's fine. As long as it only remains at that. As long as you don't end up being obsessed over it, and you fall back in the addiction. Be careful. Be very careful. I just had to say that because, it was something on my mind that I thought about, and I know that there's a lot of people out there who might be thinking more or less about the same thing, and it's useful to know you're not alone. Have a nice day, man. Hopefully this helps, and keep pushing forward. Cheers, man.